Next, please welcome Dr. Gerald Leung, co-founder and chief architect, Glassbox AI, to the stage. Thank you, Tzi Kin. Please welcome Mr. Jim Ng, customer solution architect, infrastructure modernization, Google Cloud.
Okay, cool. All right, introducing Andy Chow. Hi, my name's Andy. I'm an engineering director at Airwallex. I'm thrilled to be here at the Google Summit in Hong Kong today. And at Airwallex, our mission is very simple: to empower businesses everywhere to operate globally without borders. Today, I'll share how we're doing that at scale, how Google supports our global infrastructure, and how AI is transforming the way we build and serve our customers. Cool. So, a little bit about Airwallex. We were founded in Melbourne in 2015. We started out as a coffee shop and have grown to become a global fintech platform. That's a major pivot. We are now valued at over $6.2 billion following our recent Series F fundraising 2 weeks back. And we move over $130 billion in transaction volume annually and support over 160 local payment methods. With 1,700 employees across 26 offices and more than 60 licenses, we've built deep regulatory and product coverage to serve businesses of all sizes. Okay, a little bit about me. I joined Airwallex in 2021, and I currently lead the infrastructure, productivity, and tech platform departments, essentially the backbone that powers Airwallex's services at scale. And fun fact, this photo is pre-Airwallex and pre-weight gain, actually. So you see this is close to the same time. And I've gained 30 pounds, so 13 kilos since then. So yes, I've been fully absorbed into the fast-growing fintech life. All right, so how do we help our customers as a fintech? We handle the full spectrum of money movement for businesses, accepting payments, managing treasury, FX, making payouts, all through one platform. This means our customers do not need to stitch together 5 vendors or worry about regulatory fragmentation across those. They get one simple, unified platform. We manage complexity behind the scenes. This journey wouldn't be possible without Google Cloud's ecosystem. Google is a key partner in our global growth. Their infrastructure gives us a secure, low latency network that supports seamless operations across markets. Their analytics capabilities help us personalize the customer journey, surfacing insights and improving customer experience and conversions and support. And importantly, we meet stringent regulatory and uptime requirements with a platform that's both scalable and cost efficient. Okay, so GCP provides this amazing, secure, and scalable backbone for our infrastructure. And also, with Vertex AI, we're democratizing AI access, enabling both technical and non-technical teams to build AI-powered systems for real business use cases. Workspace helps our global teams collaborate across time zones. For people, workspaces like Google Cloud, or G Docs, G Sheets, so on and so forth. It's pretty amazing. Finally, Google PSO, the team works directly with our engineers to refine our system architecture and embed SRE best practices. Cool. Okay, so a little about AI. I want to switch over to this now. Our journey to becoming an AI native company is well underway. First, our customer experience. We're using AI to simplify onboarding, distill customer insights, and deliver faster, more intuitive capabilities. At Airwallex, our commitment to becoming an AI native company isn't just about enhancing customer experience and unlocking greater productivity for our teams, but it's about driving breakthrough innovation, reimagining our products and services so that we can deliver smarter, more personalized, and uniquely differentiated financial solutions that sets us apart on the world stage. Second, team productivity. Tools like NotebookLM and Gemini have become a natural part of how we work, helping us build deeper insights and making better decisions for our customers. And lastly, speed to market. AI accelerates time from ideation to market launch for new products, features, and improvements. It helps us maintain competitiveness in a fast-moving fintech landscape. Now, I like to talk about how we're integrating AI into our development lifecycle. Our engineers use Copilot, chat-based tools daily, but we've gone further. We've built AirCheck, our in-house AI code reviewer. It catches bugs with an 86% true positive rate before they hit production and before they impact customers. We've also launched an AI gateway to monitor and secure generative AI usage across the business. This allows us to perform things like guardrails, cost monitoring, et cetera. And one of the biggest wins, we've built a system for AI-generated test cases. What used to take junior developers 3 days end-to-end tests now takes about 15 minutes. It's 93% faster. That's the kind of scale that AI enables for us. We're incredibly inspired by the pace of innovation coming out of Google, from I/O to Next to today. We're watching closely how tools like Gemini and agentic workflows evolve and how they can help us redefine the future of financial operations. Ultimately, we want to build a world where finance is not just AI-enhanced, but AI-orchestrated, intelligent, efficient, and borderless. Thank you. That's all I have today. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Andy. Next, please welcome Mr. Kenny Au, Head of Operations Division, The Bank of East Asia Limited, to the stage.
Good morning. Hey, so Andy, you look like me in about 10 years' time, so probably 20 years later. So, okay, today I'm going to talk a bit about strategy, so Bank of East Asia. So a bit of background. So when we look at the vision, so what the bank wanted to do, we thought it was going to be straightforward. So we wanted to deploy fit-for-purpose AIs. We look at what happened the past 15, 20 years, and what happened was people were doing data, dashboards, talk about traditional AIs. 16, 18 months ago, it was generative AI. But what does all this mean to us? How are we going to commercialize all these things into making the proper use cases? So fit for purpose for us was actually quite important. We want to do use cases that make sure that all these use cases can give proper ROI back to the bank. Second point, AI for risk management. We see a lot of opportunities in terms of financial crime compliance, in terms of credit risk, in terms of market risk. There's going to be a lot of AIs that are going to be in there for risk management. AI driving through embedded products. Now, we always think that AI is probably just a decision-making tool, engine. Without chatbots, without portals, without connectivity to our systems, it wouldn't work. So the whole point is, how do we integrate our AI into our ecosystems of the bank? Point number 4, responsible and explainable AI. Obviously, everybody's concerned about this. When we want to use AI, how do we make sure we're compliant, we're safe, we're being fair to our customers, and our staff is happy about it? Finally, accountability. Now, I'm going to talk a bit more about people at the end. The most important part of AI is about how we're going to use it, how we can be responsible for it, and how we're going to commercialize it individually. Let's look at our journey for the past 24 months within Bank of East Asia. So we partnered with Google. At first, we actually chose Google as a data lake platform. But as and when time goes by, there's more questions about AI, data and AI. They should be interrelated. So we had to work with Google to repurpose our platform to be an AI platform. 2025, what happened? So generative AI, OpenAI, Gemini, 9, 10 months ago, DeepSeek. We wanted a platform that can adopt new tools as and when we wanted to use it. And we were happy to actually choose Google because they had those tools available for us early in 2025. So I'm going to talk about 2 use cases. So the first one here, contact center. Something that we thought it could actually be meaningful for us. How are we going to connect Gemini into our day-to-day processes? So one example was that, let's imagine a contact center staff. We have a lot of product offerings. We have a lot of questions from staff. We have a lot of knowledge. But how can the staff be able to actually navigate and find those information quickly? So with the use of Gemini, we actually created a knowledge base. Gemini can actually find us those informations and the reference documents quickly and allow our contact center staff to not just navigate the information, be able to provide the correct answers, but at the same time provide also like hybrid models like counter-selling, our product offering, recommendations, etc. The second use case I want to share with you, so a credit memo. So a lot of the times when relationship managers, they need to prepare for lending facilities, loan facilities, they need to go through a lot of documents, a lot of reference information on the internet, and to consolidate all this information together to become a credit proposal, it will probably take us about 20, 30 hours. With Gemini, one of the core features was that document summarization, data accessibility to the intranet, looking through Hong Kong Stock Exchange information. This can actually help our relationship managers to shorten the credit memo process from 20, 30 hours to probably 2 to 3 hours. Okay, so talk about use cases, we talked about platform. One of the challenges of my IT teams is that when I wanted something, I actually want it tomorrow. So we want Vertex AI, we want DeepSeek, we want Gemini, all these things available tomorrow. But if you look at the internal bank infrastructure, we have cybersecurity approvals, firewall, network, operation risk, all these things that we talk about. It's going to take us forever. So one of the things that the Google Cloud was available for us is that with the core platform of Google Cloud, all these were pre-approved. So additional modules that have been added to it will be much more easier, accessible for us from a banking perspective, and give our risk managers peace of mind when we go through these processes. Governance. Now, we always talk about data governance. 12, 24 months ago, we talked about AI governance. And probably about 12 months ago, now we talk about AI governance for generative AI. Being accountable, being responsible is probably the core basics, but probably the other point that we also want to look at is explainability. So imagine one of our risk managers, they want us to explain to them what is a large language model, and how are we going to make sure that these kind of models will be able to interpret and produce the outcomes that we expected. So with this, we created a process within the bank where we have an internal governance of risk managers to look at this. But at the same time, these risk managers would actually work with Google to, I would say, study the background, study the knowledge, and also study what is available so that when we approve these kind of AI models, it's easy for us to put it into use faster. Training. So in the BEA, we actually have a very ambitious vision. So we are looking at probably 50 to 60% of our population staff to have some sort of AI knowledge by the end of 2-3 years. What we believe is that if we don't use AI, the person who's going to use it will eliminate the person who's not going to use it. So how are we going to train our staff in terms of knowledge and upskills to be equipped with AI? So within the bank, we actually provided a lot of a theoretical training, different types of models, the usage, the way it works, how we actually incorporate into processes. And then also some specialists, more hands-on training into using GCP tools, Vertex AI, Gemini, all these kind of things. One of the things that we liked about Google is that the facilities, the type of training available for us to actually empower our staff to learn more about Google Cloud. So if you look at what we have available here, so instructor-led, on-demand, hands-on, certifications, what we wanted from our staff is that they can proactively learn the information, they can take the knowledge away, so that even if they don't work for us, they can still learn, have the knowledge and be able to employ somewhere else. And finally, certifications. What we believe is that these kind of knowledge should be good for staff today or for tomorrow. Okay, so conclusion. Now, the objective of all these AIs, I know it's fancy, I know we do a lot of POCs, but I think we're at a point of time of the era where we need to understand the problem and find a purpose-fit solution. Otherwise, at the end of the day, it wouldn't work. And from a banking perspective, it's all about return on investments. So what we wanted to do from our bank is that people need to understand the problem and be able to find a proper-fit solution to make it work. Second, people need to let go of people management, but think about how we want to use more AI. So from managing people to people managing AI. Finally, with the right tools, what we hope is that with the right tools, AI models, we can actually embed all these AIs into our ecosystems to make the end-to-end solution work and to make sure that everybody is happy about the solution at the end. So at the end, what we believe is that probably Google so far actually make BEA quite happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny. Next, please welcome Ms. Crystal Chan, Group Chief Technology and Information Officer, DFI Retail Group, to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. I have a disclaimer to make. I'm going to spoil the party a bit. Everyone talks about all these exciting AI initiatives. I'm going to bring you back to the fundamentals of data today. So if I can quickly share with you what's DFI Retail Group to start with. I'm hoping most of you, if not all of you, is a customer of DFI Retail Group already. So for those who don't know, we currently operate in 13 Asia markets. We're a mass retailer. We have over 10,000 stores across Asia. We operate under 6 formats. Some of the well-known brands that you all may know in Hong Kong especially are Wellcome, Mannings, 7-Eleven, and IKEA. So today my presentation will be very much focusing on the 4 key formats, which cut across 20 different businesses across 10 markets in DFI. So in DFI, our strategy is to maximize total shareholder return. What it means is we will need to deliver customer-first experience and maximize revenue for our shareholder. And to do that, data and of course AI play a very, very key role of our business strategy in the coming years. But first of all, we heard about all these exciting AI projects and initiatives and models and agents this morning. In DFI, we do have some fundamental legacy data challenge that we are about to solve. So if we take a step back and share why DFI is where we are today. So as you can see earlier, we are a large portfolio of business, right? We have 4 formats. We operate in many different countries. We used to be operating technology and data in a relatively decentralized approach. What it means is our businesses were, in the past, selecting their own technology and implementing data platforms in silos. So over the years, this is the result. So we have over 100,000 reports. We have more reports than stores. We have more in DFI. We have a lot of reporting and analytics platform. We actually have 7. A lot of them are best practice, global, well-branded platforms. 5 different data warehouses. We have multiple teams using the data, trying to leverage the data every day. And our data governance is very much regulation-driven. So what it means is the key focus is on customer privacy rather than data value, use cases, data quality, etc. So what it means is it's not really easy for any of our users to get a single source of truth on how we are operating as a business on a day-to-day basis. Now, it's possible, but it's just manual, and it takes quite a bit of time. Therefore, what we need to do is to look at how we're going to address that problem in an accelerated manner. So like I said earlier, DFI is a direct-to-consumer business, which gives us a very, very key advantage. So we have a lot of first-party data. So our job is to leverage our basket data and our customer behavioral data to drive growth and to drive change. So data has always been a priority in retail industry. But now we have to pivot. We have to pivot from data as a service to data as a product and leapfrog to data as an asset. What it means is we are no longer just focusing on creating awareness on data. We are not just serving our end users with operational report. Instead, we have got 4 key focus. So one is we have to deliver a single unified data architecture. So what it means is the 20 businesses that I just mentioned, the data needs to go into a single data lake in a single data structure to help us scale at cost and at a much better speed. And second, we have to look at our ways of working in the organization to make sure we remove all the duplication and extra efforts between roles and between departments to make sure we can go a lot faster. And third, we have to look at data as an asset. So what it means is by re-architecting all these data fundamentals, we are going to start creating new revenue for DFI by looking at data monetization, media monetization, directly creating new business revenue with our suppliers rather than just focusing on our customer. And last but not least, we have to leapfrog. We have spent so many years trying to develop and create reports, trying to standardize reports. But what we need to do is with AI, we need to leapfrog and really focus on investing on generative AI on BI. So what it means is instead of spending time on producing reports, we are going to give our team members agents so to be able to help them on their everyday job. So this is how we're going to go about it. I'm going to go into a bit more detail into the technology and data ecosystem of DFI retail. In DFI, we have 20 different businesses, as I said. And there are over 120 source systems. It's actually not a lot for 20 businesses. But however, as you know, for some of you who are working in the technology industry, you will know that a lot of the organizations will spend a lot of time and effort trying to address technology debt, to upgrade your technology, trying to modernize and standardize your solutions based on ROI. Now, this is just going to be an ongoing journey. So regardless of all the SaaS platform in the world now, there is still a need to look at how we modernize the fundamental platforms over the years. And as you all know, replacing an ERP minimum takes months. And for the size of DFI, it will take years. So therefore, it is very, very crucial for DFI to have a strategy to deliver a solid data architecture, to enable a consistent, efficient, and effective internal decisioning process, as well as allowing our business to continue with data monetization to bring new revenue into the group. So as you can see in this diagram, as we are addressing the technology debt at the source system level, we're going to build one common data model above our data pools, invest on AI decision engine to maximize the power of data, and then we're going to make sure we improve the experience to our customer, our people, and our supplier as well. So double click into more into the technology design. So the direction is to build one unified data model across domains. So meaning, regardless of source system, the data will be processed and stored in one consistent manner across the group. So doing so, it will give us one single source of truth. We'll be able to consolidate data across the functions to provide one integrated view across many departments. For example, like commercial, marketing, customer insight, finance, HR, supply chain, and so on. We estimate this journey to take about 9 to 12 months for one business to create a template. And from there, all the heavy lifting would have been done up front, and we plan to accelerate to the rest of the group a lot faster. Now, it's never just about technology and data. Yeah, otherwise, we can outsource all the work to consultants and suppliers. We got to look at how data and technology integrate to our business and domains through different ways of working. We try to simplify it in a way by launching a hub and spoke target operating model. So we have two types of hubs. One is a data engineering hub with subject matter experts who understand how to structure data for various parts of the business. And we are going to allocate business intelligence resource to focus on consolidation and standardization of a limited set of data products. And we will have spoke. We are going to empower our business to make sure they get the right resource sitting directly with the decision maker, where the business will have their own data champion, data analyst, and for more complex part of the business, for example, like U-Rewards in Hong Kong, they will have a small number of data scientists to help them address their own specific needs on a day-to-day basis. So overall, what's important is the 80-20 rule. So the 80-20 rule here is we believe the business will be 80% using standard data product, 20% will be creating their own particular data product for specific needs, with governance sitting all above it. So as you can see, this is a push and pull model. The more standard you use, the lower the cost, the faster you are. And that also releases time for people to spend more of their time on value-added activities and also allow the technology team to focus more on generative AI for BI as well. So overall, we expect to work on data consolidation, standardization of data product with the further investment AI to generate significant business value over the next 3 to 5 years. So some of our retail use cases consist of commercial capabilities, such as improving our promotion, pricing, product, space planning to maximize our return per square foot in store, but also amplifying our hyper-personalization experience online and offline. And over and above this, DFI is going to scale monetization in an accelerated manner. And of course, technology and data is not the only piece. We've got to work with our business to make sure the change management is properly done with AI in the mix as well. So to close my sharing, I would like to bring back some of the key messages for you all to remember. So first, DFI is a multi-market, multi-format business. So it is very costly and too slow to rely on legacy and decentralized data architecture. So our first focus has to be investing on a strategic data lake, and in this case it's GCP, to help us clean up through a unified data model. Second, we'll empower our business to extract value from the data through a hub and spoke model. The hub are domain expert to drive standardization and change management, while the spokes are empowered to sit with the business to drive decision-making and maximize data product value on a day-to-day basis. Third, and last, with the challenging global and local trade environment, especially in Hong Kong, we will accelerate monetization. And DFI will be launching a vendor portal called DFIQ for data and media monetization by the end of 2025. So to sum up, I believe DFI is very much well-positioned to reset our data foundation to drive change and drive growth. So now this is the end of my sharing, and thank you very much for your time.
Next, please welcome Dr. Gerald Leung, co-founder and chief architect, Glassbox AI, to the stage.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for having us on stage. After the big speeches of big companies, we're going to do a little bit of change of pace, where we actually try to showcase our wish, not so much our business. So this topic will be how we are trying to enable the deaf and hard-hearing community in Hong Kong to hear and to be heard. Hopefully, all of you guys don't really have any problems with hearing, but in Hong Kong, it is actually a prevalent problem, okay? People who are deaf or are hard-hearing, they actually have severe communication problems. So just think about how a person who's deaf can communicate with any of us. If we talk about interpreters in Hong Kong, every 5,000 deaf or hard-hearing person, we only have one interpreter. Basically, that means whenever a deaf or hard-hearing person runs into any event that they require an interpreter, it might actually take 4 to 5 weeks to book one. Another thing is, in Hong Kong, we only actually have one school which is specialized in deaf and hard-hearing community education. So you can already imagine what it actually implies for all others. So with this, there's actually a cultural and social stigma where the deaf and the hard-hearing people are actually excluded from the majority of our communication. In Hong Kong, we have 250,000 deaf and hard-hearing persons, and this number is actually rising. If we go back to 2013, this was actually only 155,000. Out of these 250,000 people, 60%, over 60% of them are actually elderly. If we go to the other end of the spectrum, if we look at students, then we can actually see that 40% of students actually face severe language delays. What does this actually imply? This actually implies that people who are deaf or hard-hearing can actually only interpret 60% of text. Because before we actually embarked on this project, we always thought if we have textual information to our deaf and hard-hearing community, then we can actually disseminate this information to this group. Apparently, this is not the case. So this is just an excerpt. In here, 40% of this is not in English, 60% is in English. So I want you guys to try to read this and see how much you can understand from this simple 3 sentences. Welcome to Google Cloud Summit. Today, we will talk about media accessibility voor de dovengemeenschap. Subtitles are helpful, maar ze zijn niet altijd voldoende for those who rely on gebarentaal. So just trying to do a very simple field test. How many of here understands what we're actually trying to say over here? Okay, we have one, probably a Dutch person over there, because 40% was actually Dutch. So for the people who don't understand this, obviously you can use Google Translate. Just take a picture and we can translate everything of them. So what do we actually want to do? Okay, what we actually want to do is automate AI sign language translation, okay? Because like we said before, every 5,000 deaf and hard-hearing person, there's actually only one interpreter available. If we actually could enable this automatically, that could actually be more inclusive to this particular group of people. In here, we have a demo video for a commercial. What we can see over here is we actually try to have accurate Hong Kong Sign Language gestures and facial expressions, because that apparently is paramount in conveying sign language. Another thing is we have customizable avatars, and we actually also enable domain-specific database. Oh. Is there anyone who can help to play the video?
我哋嘅故事喺160年前開始。由皇后大道中出發，從發行1蚊紙、紅簿仔、提款卡，到推出流動理財，單手都搞得掂。由粵港去到國際科創金融中心，由香港呢一度去到世界每一度，一齊向前，一齊參與。由歷史地標到嶄新舞台，從體壇、文化、創新到藝術，喺世界上唔同舞台發光發亮。由以前、而家到未來，匯豐香港盛演世界160年，我哋嘅故事只係啱啱開始。
First of all, sorry for making a commercial for another company, but what you actually can oversee over here, this is actually completely Gen AI, computer generated. It's not an actual person who's doing this sign language. So just imagine if the deaf and hard-hearing persons have the availability of an AI translator who can do this. Just imagine how more inclusive we can be for those 250,000 people here in Hong Kong. So technology, right? So, but yeah, for this, we can actually see a lot of potential use cases. First of all, think of this event. If this was inclusive for deaf and hard-hearing person, we could actually have a real-time interpreter on the right-hand side as well, which can actually do this. Because if you hire an actual interpreter, we actually only have a concentration time span for 10 to 15 minutes. So if we were to hire actual translators, we would actually need to switch back and forth between different translators to be able to do this. With AI, they don't really get tired. Second of all, digital media. So just imagine for any digital media, be it TV, broadcasting, YouTube videos, we could actually enable this to be inclusive for the deaf and hard-hearing persons. Another thing is client interaction. Just think of any kiosks that you might have, or even your website or your mobile app. We could actually help to enable this to be inclusive for the deaf and the hard-hearing people. So we are on a Google event, so we will also tell a little bit how Google enabled us to do this. So basically what happens is we have voice or text, and we actually also use an LLM model to interpret this for sign language. So a lot of people might think it's a one-to-one translation, but actually the grammar and the gloss is really, really important. A very short term, like I want to drink coffee in English. In Hong Kong Sign Language, it is coffee I want to drink. So if you actually do this as a literal translation, deaf and hard-hearing people are actually reluctant to take that in because it's not their native tongue. So with Google's help, with Gemini and Gemma, we were actually able to translate this into a natural cadence for the deaf and the hard-hearing people. So we actually also use LLM grammar and gloss, and in the end, we will use Gen AI. At this point, it's our own model, but after listening to today's Google's event, we actually are also thinking how much can actually also Google help us with it. And in the end, we have a visualization of our Hong Kong Sign Language. So we use two models. First of all, we use Gemma, which is the open source version. Why is that? Because we want to have a real-time translation. Okay? If we use Gemini up until now, we are not able to do that in real time yet. So we have a fast and lightweight model on a local server, which is fine-tuned, okay, based on our Hong Kong Sign Language and also RAG enabled. For a fuller model, we actually use Gemini, and with that, we have actually a more accurate Hong Kong Sign Language, and we actually can provide that on the cloud, and it's also RAG enabled. Last week, Google at Google I/O actually also announced Sign Gemma, and we are actually really, really excited on this part, which is basically an LLM which is tailored to sign language. The problem, I wouldn't say problem, the current limitation with that is it focuses on ASL, American Sign Language, but different countries use different sign languages. And in Hong Kong, we use Hong Kong Sign Language. In China, you have a Chinese Sign Language. So we definitely think there's a lot of room for adaptation, and we are really excited to see what this actually brings. So with that, I conclude my brief talk. So I would like everyone to think about how you could join us in our wish to allow the deaf and the hard-hearing to hear and to be heard. Thank you.